Hello and welcome to another great episode of Money Truth Moments with the one, the only Judy Copenbarger. Welcome, Judy. How you doing?
I am awesome. Good to see you, Carlos, and good morning.
Good morning to you too. Hey, you're broadcasting remotely again, right?
I am. I am still way up high in the mountains of Colorado, but I'm happy to be joining you this morning.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're happy that you're here. We're happy that you're able to keep our show going because there's a lot of folks who are very interested in learning some more. So we developed quite the little following on here too. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I want to ask you a couple of things, but first I wanted to recap a little bit about last week's show. We did run out of time a little bit, and you mentioned that you were going to share with us for the entrepreneurs, and I think that's going to come up also on a little bit about investing as well too. Do you want to talk a little bit about that for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, there's so many aspects to being an entrepreneur. Generally, we're speaking about a small business. And one thing that small business owners need to be aware of is there are many entities, many ways that you can title your business when you are in business. It could be a sole proprietorship where you're doing business as the name of your business. That's a DBA. When you're doing that, that's usually the first step to a small business. When you're doing that, you're filing taxes and it all flows through to you just as an ordinary person on your ordinary tax returns. And you'll know this because there's a Form C that you'll put all your deductions on, and it's good to have those business deductions, right? So that's a DBA or a sole proprietorship. Many people make the mistake when they're in business, they get all excited and they want to incorporate right away. So they can be the CEO of a corporation. And for some people, it's not a mistake to do that, but it's a mistake to do that too soon because there are costs and formalities associated with owning a S corporation, a C corporation, a limited liability corporation. There's several kinds of partnerships available, professional corporations. If you do it too soon, the money that you're making from your newly acquired business or the startup business is not going to be enough to really justify the expenses of the tax returns and the formalities associated with the entity, with the corporation. So that's just one thing that I wanted to mention. Corporations are great. They give you liability protection in some cases. They give you organization and accounting in some aspects. And there's a lot of ways to save taxes with a corporation. It also can keep you under the radar for a lot of the taxation audits. Corporations have a specific way of keeping track of your expenses. It's different than a sole proprietorship. And for most people that have a small business, they have the experience of less audits or risks of audit when they incorporate as opposed to being a sole proprietorship. So there's pros and cons to both sides, and I think you just really need to do a deep dive into what entities are available and know all your options and the costs of them before choosing.
Excellent. I appreciate you sharing that. Also, folks, if you are just tuning in, thank you for joining us. I also want to make sure that you join Judy also on the digital space at judycopenbarger.com. So make sure you visit our website. There's a lot of great information, a lot of free videos as well, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well too. But just make sure that you follow her at judycopenbarger.com. She's on Facebook. She's on LinkedIn as well. And there's other platforms as well that are going to be coming up, but you can always get the information from her website. So Judy, sometimes in life, things happen, right? And what we should be in order turns chaotic, right? How does the money truth wisdom that you speak about and that is in your new book turn chaos and confusion into clarity and prosperity?
Wow, what a great question. The book, Money, Truth, and Life, is based on my life experience working with clients, watching them have peace and family harmony and freedom show up because they got money right. And I think for people to go from that chaos and that confusion that you mentioned and end up in a space of confidence and clarity comes from looking at all the 5 aspects, 5 pillars of finance, and executing well in each pillar. And some people are unaware that there are 5 pillars, there are 5 aspects. And so they are, to name them, the legal, the insurance, taxation, investments, and cash flows and cash reserves. So every choice you make, every decision you make every day that is financial is going to be made in one or more of those categories. So I think really getting from that place of just confusion and overwhelm to that place of confidence is just going to be getting more of those things right than not, and navigating well. So I think it's just about making money choices that are in alignment with your most important objectives, your most important goals, and in alignment with your faith and your family and your future. So those are probably some of the things that I would think about first. I think it's important to educate yourself. When you know better, you do better. And the problem with information in the financial world out there is that most of the information that you get, most of the education that you get comes from people in the financial industry. And that's not a bad thing until you consider their motives. So if you're sitting across the table from someone who sells insurance and you're learning about insurance, their commission is going to be based on the higher premium you're going to pay. So there's a natural conflict of interest built into the system. If you're sitting across the table or the desk from a banker, they want you to have a mortgage. And if you have one, you need a refi. They want you to invest your money in their products. They want you to put your money in their CDs because that's how they're compensated and that's how they get money for their corporation. So it's not a bad system. It's just a system that you need to consider the source. Why would they give me that advice? Why are they making that recommendation? Is that really the best one for me? And so always looking at all of your options, not just the ones that they're selling you at the moment, looking at all of your options, you can always choose the best course of action for you and your family. So I think it's about informing yourself, getting an education. Money Truth in Life is all about resourcing people. We have free videos on the YouTube channel, and there's things on LinkedIn and Facebook. And of course, we have this online mastery course, which helps everybody navigate every one of those aspects well. And we can chat about that if it's a resource that your viewers might be interested in. I think another thing that's important when we're in a season like this and there is all this chaos is just to only use the facts. Get really good information. The news is not going to be good information. It's amazing. I don't watch the news. Once in a while I'll flip through and I'm aware, I have to be aware in my industry, but and I'll see the numbers scrolling by of what's going on in the world, in the economy, some of the reports that have come out. I'll see what the market's doing. And then there'll be a person dressed nicely telling us information that doesn't match what's scrolling across right under their face. And it just boggles my mind how inaccurate and misleading information can be in not only the news, the daily news, but in newspapers and in magazines and periodicals and online. There's so much poor information and misinformation, usually designed to get you to take action or to promote some fear. I guess for the news organizations, it's about making you watch more. You're concerned, so you're going to tune into more and watch more. If it's a book or something somebody's promoting in an online summit or something, ultimately there's going to be a pitch for you to buy something. And that might be exactly what you need. I'm doing the same thing. I've got resources that I want to make available to people. I can't make them all free. Many of them are, but I can't make them all free because I've got goals too, and I've got goals too. So I think the last thing that I would say is for people coming out of a season like this where their world's been turned upside down and maybe financially they're not where they were or where they'd like to be, is to just keep moving forward. Keep your goals in front of you. Maybe this is a great season. It's a great time for you to consider reflecting on the goals you have, clarifying them, updating them, and making sure that as a family, as a couple, if you're married, as a CEO, if you have a C-level suite of executives, that you're all working toward the same goals together. And refining them is okay. You can course correct, but keep moving.
It reminds me of Dory from Finding Nemo, right? Just keep swimming, right? Totally.
That's what we do. We swim. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're going to get somewhere where you're not if you just keep moving, keep swimming, keep growing, keep creating, stay innovative, all those great things. the business owners do so
No,
well. Absolutely.
and that's great advice. And also, speaking of wisdom, I am happy to say that you actually have a book launch coming out this week, right? And I already have my copy, so I
You
am
do?
good to go. I
I
do.
am.
So I am ready. I am ready to get schooled in money, truth, and life. So I'm really excited about that. But please share with us, share with folks about the book launch this week. I'm very excited about that for folks to get a hold of it.
Yeah, it has been out for a little while, but this week we have a special going through Amazon. So those of you who are on Amazon or like to order Amazon Prime, you can get the book Money, Truth, and Life, or you can Google my name, or not Google, I guess search my name in the Amazon app if you're using the app, Judy Copenbarger, and Money, Truth, and Life will come up for you. And that is just, it's a storybook, it's a handbook, it's a life-changing revelation for many people of something they've been doing or what they were taught to do a certain way for so many years. And then they just see how if they shift it slightly, there's a whole different outcome. And it's closer to where they want to be. So if you order online on Amazon, the book, between now and Friday night, that's July 17th. What is this? I've been in the mountains.
I
I'm
know
on
the whole
mountains.
week's just meshed.
When we're fishing, it doesn't matter what time it is. It's just, when they're biting, right? So it's through Friday evening, 99 cents. I think normally it retails for 20 something, but 99 cents for
Wow.
the online version. And you can download it immediately to Kindle. After that, it'll go back to the regular rates for the online book. But I would love for anyone to get that in your hands this week. Great for students, great for young marrieds, great for CEOs that are afraid to ask those questions because they feel they're supposed to already know the answers. Anyone in your life that really wants to get it right, whether it's estate planning, financial planning, all the different kinds of insurances out there, how to navigate all those things, when and how to keep your cash reserves and cash flows at certain levels if you're independently employed. It goes through all of those things, and it puts it in the context of your life and your family. So it's not just you should have a 401k and max it out and get the match. It's what's the impact of doing that now that I know to do that? What's the impact on my family and my spouse and my children and my legacy because I made those choices? So that's what Money, Truth, and Life is about. And I would love for you to have it at this great opportunity this week.
Excellent. And folks, if you're joining us, text the number 33777 with the word event, and Judy will send you a special link where you can order the book for 99 cents. It's a steal. You can't pass this up, folks. I'm telling you, I'm going to hold you guys accountable. For 99 cents, you can get the full wisdom of Money, Truth, and Life. So make sure that you order it. Make sure that you text the number so we can definitely send you guys a link and order it directly to your phone or tablet directly. So
yeah, and
Judy,
don't just order it. I don't want it on your shelf. I don't want it on your nightstand. I want it in your hands or on your Kindle, reading it. I want you to really take action for the information you get. And please let us know if you get a nugget that just is information delivered in a way you've never seen before or a perspective you've never considered before. Please let us know. You can go to any of the social media. We're everywhere. And let us know what you got. And let's start a conversation. We really want to hear from you, the impact that we're having out there.
No, and that's awesome. And if you're just joining us, a lot of the questions that we've actually asked Judy throughout the shows is a lot of them are based on her book. There's a lot of also things that have come up, such as the COVID issues that we were experiencing, businesses and all that. So there's a lot of relevant things that we discussed during our show. And if you have actual questions too, please put them on the chat, put them on social media, put a post for Judy as well on her social media, so we can address that in future shows as well too. So again, if you're not following Judy, please make sure that you are following her at judycopenbarger.com. All her social media links are there as well too. And as always, we appreciate Judy taking the time to answer a lot of these great questions, because we all learn every single time. I know I do. Every time I look forward to our Tuesday morning connections, because it's like I feel like I'm in class, right? All right, let me go see what I'm going to learn today, right? And it's always great information. So I appreciate you doing that for everyone too.
Well, I'm happy to offer the help and happy to be a resource. And I love answering questions and helping people get money right. So I'm definitely available and would love to do that.
Great. So what have you got planned this week for Money, Truth, and Life? I know, like we said, the book launches this week. I know you have a busy week. I know we actually pulled you away from an event to be able to do this morning as well, too. So do you want to share some of what's going on?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just a little while ago, I was online moderating some small group conversations at a summit for David Fagan, which is an amazing summit. The Mastermind JV Summit is fantastic. So, and stay tuned. We'll make sure that you're all invited to that if you'd like to. Anyone in business or anyone not in business, anyone who has any inkling of wanting to help make the world a better place, humanitarian efforts, ministry efforts, people that are concerned about sustainability and staying green, all the people are in this one place sharing ideas and creating joint ventures. It's an amazing summit. So I'm fortunate to be involved in that and helping lead small portions of that. Later this week, I've got an entrepreneur group that I'll be speaking at, keynoting at, and I'll make sure I put up all the links for those. Many of the things I've got backdoor tickets to, VIP tickets to. So if you contact me on LinkedIn or Facebook or any social media and let me know that you'd like to attend any of these, I can get you in the back door, and many for nothing or almost nothing. I've got the Visibility Conference. I've got a women's entrepreneurial conference for only 6-7-figure earners, which is very exciting to be part of women that are just tearing it up out there. I love that group. Awesome. I've got several things going on this week. So it is a busy week. It's a book launch week. It's a big week of fishing up here in the mountains, and we're just kind of doing it all.
And you're smiling and you're having fun, which is awesome. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I love it.
Excellent.
I love my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I know that this usually around this time we have our very own Money Truth Moment Challenge. So what do you got in store for us this week?
Oh, have I got a challenge for you this week? So the last couple of weeks, we were a little bit goal setting, a little bit life changing, just moving forward. This week, we're going to get down and dirty in the finances. So we're going to talk about investments. Are you ready?
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay. So when you're investing your money for any goal, it might be retirement, it might be for an anniversary trip, it might be for your kids to go to school, it might be for a new car or an upgrade of a house or a second home, vacation home. Whatever the goal is, you want to make sure that you're investing in the right vehicle types. So we're talking about traditional investments here: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, 401ks, things like that. So you always want to look for an investment that's tax-free first, and tax-free is going to be something like a Roth IRA, something like a matching money. If you have a pension or a matching that vests at your work, 401k, 457, something like that, do it. Once you exhaust those, you go to tax deferred, which is like a traditional IRA, pay the taxes later, but it grows in the meantime, and then non-qualified. So here is the challenge for this week. I want you to talk to your employer about any options that you have. It might be the HR department, it might be the payroll department, whoever handles at your work. If you're at a school, it's going to be the district office, whoever handles those benefits. So see what benefits are available in the area of retirement planning. So if you don't have a small business with a HR or payroll department, if you don't work in a corporation or a 501c3 or a 403b entity, a school, you're not a public employee or a church employee or something, you might have an IRA, you might have a pension from an old job, you might have some other kind of a retirement program, 401k that you never rolled over. What I want you to do is, if you're married, you might have no clue what your spouse has. Maybe that's a good thing. No, you want to know. Transparency is good. Yeah, find out what he or she has. Have him sit down with you so they know what you have, and make a list of all of those programs and investments that you have. And some might be about retirement. Some might just be an E-Trade account or some other kind of investment that you have in a non-corollary account, like a REIT or just some stocks that you like, from Apple, whatever it is. So I want you to get the statements for any of those accounts that any of you in your household have and pull them all together and write them down. So husband has a 401k at work. He has a pension option. He has an IRA from an old job, and he has, oh, gee whiz, there's that 401k right out of college. He had a job for 2 years. There's another one. Pull all of it together and write it down. Do the same with yours. The second thing I want you to do is, now that you're looking at it written down, you can put it in Excel if you don't like to write on a notepad. The second thing is to look at those and see what questions you have now that you're looking at the facts, now that you have real live information, true to date. Maybe there's an account that you thought you had from a job right out of college for a couple of years. You don't even know if it exists or what happened to it. Your homework is going to be go find it, fetch, right? Get it all together, write down any questions you have. Well, is this a pension that I get at a certain age? What age is that, and how much will I get? What if I die before then? Will my spouse get it? What if I start taking income from it and then I die? Will my spouse get to keep some income? So any questions that come up, what am I invested in? Has anybody ever been watching it? Do I have a financial advisor? All the questions you have about any accounts that you pull together, I want you to write them down or put them in the bottom of the Excel so you actually have a document of it. And then the last thing I want you to do is come up with at least one action item that you can execute by Friday, like within a week of listening to this. What's one thing that I can do to make life better because I have this information in front of me? Maybe you'll come up with 2 or 3. But for some people, that's overwhelming already, just pulling this together. Just take the one most important thing that you need to know or do to make your goals happen based on the investments that you have. Maybe your action item is start one. You know, maybe you don't have a 401k. You haven't taken advantage of the 403b at work because you're a teacher. Maybe find out what those are and start something. If you have some things going on, most people, after you've lived a few years, you start kind of collecting all these little things that aren't working together. And this is the first step to taking a realistic, honest look at where you are, whether it's painful or not. It might bring you joy, it might bring you stress, but to have it there and actually move forward with at least one action item. That's your challenge this week. Recap. 1, find out what you have at work. Put everything on paper. Number 2, list of questions. Number 3, one action item that's going to move you forward. There's your challenge. Are you ready?
Well, that's a great challenge. Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're having us gather all of this information so we have it in front of us. A lot of us haven't really looked at stuff in years, and we forget, you're right, about some of this. So I think it's a great way to bring everything together and know exactly what's going on in your household, for that matter. So great challenge. I look forward to hearing from folks as well, too. If you guys are listening, we want to hear from you next week on this specific challenge. So I know we're coming to the end of a show, and as always, I want to thank you, Judy, for your time. It's always great information that you're giving folks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Judy, again, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and follow her at judycopenbarger.com. She's got a great book coming out this week, too. And if you text the number 33777 with the word event on it, you will also get a link to order her book for just 99 cents. You get the full book through Amazon electronically for 99 cents. So guys, and like she mentioned earlier too, it's not for you to download and forget about it. It's actually for you to live it, apply it, again, through money, truth, and life. Think about that, folks, for a moment. Judy, any last parting words before we go for today?
Yeah, it's not just about the money. Money is a tool. It's a means to an end. It's just something that we use to get what we really want in life, whether it's health, wellness, family relationships, connection with people that we care about, the impact on causes that we care about. Money's just a tool. So when you have the right information, the right resources to navigate money well and optimize the money, it just gives you more options to live the life that you want. And that's what this work is about, and that's what I wish for you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Judy. Folks, this has been another great episode of Money Truth Moments with Judy Copenbarger. We ask you to please tune in every Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning for another wonderful episode with us. Again, this is Carlo Garcia, your host, and we are out. Thank you.